What does Nick think of the Barbie movie? Stand by for that. Quick look at the British Open, the Open Championship. Top of the leaderboard, folks you know, folks you don't know. Brian Harmon. Little Brian Harmon.
Good for him.
He's cute.
Good for him.
He's elf-like. Brian Harmon. 10 under par and a 5-shot lead. Tommy Fleetwood was tied for the lead yesterday. He'll tee off in about an hour. Max Homa at 3 under. Is also, there's just not a lot of big names in this first chunk of golfers.
Not at all. What happened to the amateur?
He has teed off. Is he not teed off? He's on the course. He's +2 today. He's 3 under overall. Christo Lambrek and Jordan Spieth. Playing all right. -2. He'll tee off in just a few minutes.
I would like to put Christo and stand him next to Harmon.
And then you'd have a Christo Harmon.
Well, because Harmon's only, 5 feet tall, and Christo seems like he's like 7 feet tall.
Harmon is tiny. You're trying to hit it 7,400 yards? Come on. 7:53, we continue. Nick Digilio is here. The Barbie.
By the way, I have no idea about anything that you just said.
Sound like Latin?
Swahili,
Gibberish.
as far as I could tell.
Swahili? Yeah.
By the way, that song that we played, coming back, that was played, that's I'm Just Ken from Barbie, sung by Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, I heard it the first time. So
He loves it. He loves it.
Do you have like a car crash or something you can play as well? Barbie?
Best movie of the year. Without question.
Maybe the century.
Best movie of the year. It is whatever you think
Nick,
it is.
Nick, if you grab one arm.
Listen to me.
Nick Gale, if you grab one arm, I'll grab the other. We'll take him out for treatment.
Whatever you think the movie is, it's not. Whatever you think it is.
Well, give me the elevator
It's not
pitch.
what
What
it
is
is.
it?
It is one of the most brilliant and potent and subversive American satires of all time.
So
it is a movie
Are they making fun of Barbie?
Well, they're making fun of the world, and Barbie is part of that world, and it is told from one of the strongest, most female perspectives. Greta Gerwig co-wrote this and directed it. She's a phenomenal filmmaker, and this is like her masterpiece. All of her movies have a very strong female point of view. She did Lady Bird, which is a magnificent movie, one of the best movies ever made about mother and daughter relationships. She did the best adaptation ever of Little Women. And this is like her third big feature, and it's the culmination of everything that she's ever wanted to do. It takes the doll Barbie and the toy company Mattel, and it analyzes why people love Barbie, why it's not maybe good for girls because it's an image that the body image is bad, but it's also great for girls because she's an astronaut and she's the president and all this other stuff. And what they do is they take this fictional world, the Barbie land. And suddenly Barbie, one of the Barbies, played by great Margot Robbie, is dancing and having a great time. They're living in Barbie land. She's got a dream house. And the Kens, by the way, are just whatever. They're the Kens. They're not boyfriends. They're nothing. Don't even know where they're from.
Well, you seem to be quite taken with Ryan Gosling singing.
Let me just explain to this right now. Ryan Gosling is going to get an Oscar nomination for this movie.
Oh, really?
I'm Just Ken is going to get a Best Song nomination, and it will be performed by Ryan Gosling at the Oscars, and it will be the best thing that happens at the Academy Awards.
Have you taken your meds today?
Steve, I'm telling you right now, man. Yes, okay. On the surface, people are like, "Oh, it's just some dumb movie about Mattel and toys,
and
or it's just Barbies.
Yeah,
it's just dumb. I'll just take my girls to it. It'll be fun. My little girls." This is a very potent movie. This is an angry movie. It's a movie that makes an unbelievable statement about feminism and about what women have to go through in this world. There is a monologue that America Ferrera has about 3/4 of the way through this movie. It's one of the best monologues I've seen in a movie in years, and it is an unbelievable monologue about what women have had to go through, the image that they have to have, that they maintain, the fact that people accept it, the fact that there's a sad resignation that you have to do this. And it is a monologue about how poorly women have been treated in this world. And it's an angry monologue, and it's a brilliant monologue. They also talk about, how Barbie is good and how Barbie is bad. They take the big moment in this movie, the changing point in this movie is when Barbie and Ken end up going to the real world because Barbie starts to have all these existential problems. Like at one point, they're dancing in Barbie land and everybody's happy. And she's like, "Hey, did anybody ever think about dying?" And the Barbie doll now thinks about dying because the girl who owns the Barbie doll is depressed. And she's put the feelings. So Barbie and Ken go into the real world. And when they first go to the real world on Venice Beach, they're rollerblading and wearing very colorful costumes. And for the first time, Barbie in the real world is being objectified. So she's like roller skating.
She doesn't like it.
And she doesn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, Ken is digging it because in Barbie land, Kens are just idiots. They're just jerks. They're nothing. Suddenly he's getting high fives. He's getting looks and he's getting power. And he realizes while he's in the real world that the patriarchy is great. He brings it back to Barbie land and turns it into patriarchy.
How do we know you're not part of Big Barbie, the lobbying group?
You know what? I'll tell you what. I will lobby for this movie all year long. Okay. Honest to God.
Nick does not hand out compliments about movies very often.
More on Barbie after 8 o'clock. You gotta get to Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Well, it's bad.
Come on.
It's really bad.
What?
And
what's worse, the destruction of the bomb or the movie?
Both. Here's the thing. And you know, the whole reason that these two movies have been put together, you know why these two movies have been put together. Well, the whole reason why they've been put together is because it's Warner Brothers, the studio that released Barbie. It's them trying to get back at Christopher Nolan, who wrote and directed Oppenheimer, because Christopher Nolan had a contract with Warner Brothers. They made 8 or 9 movies together. He did all the Batman movies there. He did Inception there. He did all of his movies, Interstellar, all that stuff. And then when COVID hit and his movie Tenet came out, Christopher Nolan did not like the way that Warner Brothers decided that they were going to release their movies after COVID, which would be like a movie would open on a Friday, but it would also premiere on HBO Max on the same time. Mm-hmm. And because, you know...
So they had a big, ugly breakup.
They had a big, ugly breakup. So Warner Brothers thought, well, let's get back at him. Let's release Barbie on the same day that Oppenheimer comes out, and let's create this conflict and make sure that we make all the money and Christopher Nolan doesn't.
This is like yesterday, Jane, when the studios were cutting the twigs on the branches, so people protesting from SAG couldn't get shade.
No shade.
You got a minute to review this, so jump to the movie.
Okay, well, the movie is not bad. I mean, it's really bad. It's really, really bad.
Why does it fail?
It's bloated. It plays like a text movie disguised, or a textbook that disguises a movie.
It's preachy?
It's preachy, but it's also got all that Christopher Nolan stuff where he's cutting from one time zone to another, to one black and white to color. It's like, you know what? Okay, I'll put it to you this way. Did you like JFK?
No.
Okay. There you go, because it's almost the same crap that you would see in JFK. I hated Oppenheimer. I thought it was terrible.
Very disappointing.
But is it worth a watch, even if it's bad?
No.
What if you bought tickets for the double feature like your friend Tom Hush?
I would sell the Oppenheimer tickets for more Barbie tickets.
Tom could give it to his wife.
Yeah, Lauren. She would like to see it.
And you go to dinner by yourself.
I probably deserve it.
Did you hear the list of smash-ups we put together? Because, you know, the what's it called? Barbieheimer?
Barbenheimer. Yeah, Barbenheimer.
Did you hear this? We need your heat in Hollywood to push these. Tell me which one you like, and I'll decide which one we push. Citizen Gump?
He likes it.
That's good.
Singing in the Shawshank? Make Shawshank a musical?
Okay.
No? Okay.
All right.
How about Sound of Deliverance?
Sound of Deliverance I like.
Yeah, that's Nick's.
I like that one.
Bonnie and Clyde and Annie Hall?
Bonnie and Clyde and Annie Hall?
Yeah.
So that's good.
It's conversational.
Yeah.
One flew over Brokeback Mountain, then gently looked away to give them their moment of privacy. I know the title's long.
That's a lot. It's not going to get on the marquee.
Let's see. Texas Chainsaw Bridesmaids.
Yeah, I would like that.
You would like that.
I love both those movies.
Yep.
Snow White and the Seven Grumpy Old Men? No?
I thought you were going to go Snow White and the Seven Deadly Sins. I thought you were going to do that.
Or there's that one.
Yeah.
Or funny, and this is the one I've already got money. Chitty Chitty Die Hard.
What about Old Yeller? What was it? Old?
Oh, yeah. Old Airbud Yeller. Yeah, where he's killed in mid-flight while he's trying to dunk.
While he's trying to dunk, he dies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So tell me, think about it during the break.
Okay.
Can you stick around for a bit? Because we got more Barbie coming
sure.
up.
What am I going to do?
Wow. Your new Saturday Night Live podcast is what?
Well, the one that's out now, that just came out on Wednesday, is called Misery Loves Company. And I go through the stories of 10 cast members from Saturday Night Live who were miserable while they were there. And the stories behind the scenes of why they were miserable. Some people stayed more seasons than they should have.
Even while they were miserable?
Yeah. Mm. Some people lasted 1 season. One person lasted a half a season.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Miserable. 3 years she was on the show.
Larry David is always miserable. So does he count? Larry David's always miserable. Does he count?
No. I mean, he was miserable. He's just a writer.
Yeah.
Not just a writer, I shouldn't say
that.
But he was a writer.
These are cast members.
Yeah, cast members. Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon.
Sorry?
Jimmy Fallon.
No. He made everybody miserable. But
Robert Downey Jr.
No, because he was not. He was drunk the whole time.
Yeah.
He was drunk the whole time.
Pretty happy.
Yeah, he was too blasted.
No, miserable. Like, okay, I gotta say this. John Lovitz claims that he was miserable the entire time.
He's another guy that's miserable all the time.
All the time.
John Lovitz would walk around and go, they're not using enough of me.
Well, his entire, like, anytime when I was doing research for this, like, to pull up quotes and interviews and stuff like that to play, and I play sketches from each one of the cast members who was miserable. Some of the sketches I play because they were terrible and that's what they were stuck with, a la Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who was stuck with, she basically, I remember when somebody asked Julia Louis-Dreyfus, what was, David Letterman asked her, what was it like, what was your work like when you were on SNL? And she said, well, stuff like, here you go, Mr. Gumby.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
Because she was there to serve Eddie Murphy. That was it. She was there during the time when nobody else on that show took off except Eddie Murphy. But, so I play sketches that were good. That I don't know why they're miserable. Like Nora Dunn is in there, and she was miserable.
Nora Dunn was miserable?
Yeah. And she was great on that show.
Even before the Andrew Dice Clay thing where she made all the news?
Well, that was the thing that put it over the top.
Straw.
Because when she boycotted the night that she and Sinead O'Connor was the musical guest, and she and Sinead O'Connor boycotted when Andrew Dice Clay came out because they were offended by his material, and Lauren did not like that. And so all of the stuff that she was unhappy about that was her last year, by the way, on the show, was the year that 1990 when Dice hosted. And that was the culmination of all of the misery that she had the entire time she was on that show for the 4 years. And then Lauren just when you cross Lauren, that's it. You're on the crap list.
I'm familiar with that. Yeah. Janine Garofalo.
Half season. That's the one. That's the most miserable. And
she was only on a half
season. She quit after the half a season. Sarah Silverman quit after 3/4 of the way through. And Chris Elliott, same season. He left after one season. And I played the sketch because I talk about Chris Elliott and I talk about Janine Garofalo's time there. And I play one sketch that they did, and it was really an example of why they were miserable. Everything that happened in the sketch. The sketch was it was a seminar led by a married couple, a sex seminar led by a married couple, where they were going to, Chris Elliott and Janine Garofalo played the married couple, and they were going to teach everybody about how to have better sex by having sex in front of everyone. And the two guys in the audience that were part of the crowd were Chris Farley and Adam Sandler. And the entire thing is like, take off your pants! And it's just them screaming the entire time that Chris Elliott and Janine Garofalo are trying to do this bit. And it's just them, like Chris Farley banging on the table and screaming, drinking beer and going, let's see your boobs, and stuff like that. And that is a summation of everything they put up with.
Right.
Off camera.
A little tough to get noticed, get seen, or actually work. Jay Moore is a bizarre dude, but he can be very funny. He was unhappy. He
wrote one of I didn't include him in this particular episode because I only did 10. So
he ran this episode. What about Harry Shearer?
Harry Shearer was there twice. I don't even know why he came back.
And unhappy both times.
Miserable both times. And I don't know why he came back. He was there in 1980 when, the only people that were left were like Bill Murray and Jane Curtin and Gilda Radner, and everybody else was doing stuff. Like that.
Leslie Jones wasn't happy. Was she not happy?
She was unhappy.
Why would that be? She was there for years.
I talk about her story, about how she was like, nobody wrote stuff for her. But I think the problem with Leslie Jones is that she didn't pitch. You got to pitch.
Yeah, all right.
But are they unhappy because they're comedian unhappy, or are they unhappy because of the climate there was unhappy?
All of everything in between. That's why each story is kind of different, and some of it is the workload and the fact that you work. Like some people are just not cut out for walking in on a Monday and having to write all night long. Like you're there for...
Listen, it's a stupid schedule. They don't need to do it that way anymore, but they do.
They do.
The plug for your regular podcast.
Regular podcast, the Nick D... By the way, both my podcasts are at radiomisfits.com, or you can Google them. They're all over the place. The Nick D podcast, it just dropped. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
We got the latest movie reviews between me and Eric and Steve reviewing the two big things that came out this week. And then Esmeralda and I talk about her little adventure last week at jury duty.
Oh, okay.
And bad fast food. We talk about really bad fast food.
All right, stand by. We'll come back. Oppenheimer, Barbie, and everything else Nick has on his list in a moment. All right, let me jump back to the important story of the morning, the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
First off, Jane looks lovely in her pink head to toe. You'll see pictures of that later if you haven't seen them posted already. We're going to shoot some video after the show, which I couldn't be more thrilled about.
And thank you for wearing pink, Steve and Nick and Michael. Miranda and Tom, you did it. Thank you.
Yes, Tom really has captured the mood of the Barbie movie in a pink shirt.
I wasn't aware of it.
I know.
And in a pink
that's
shirt.
okay.
And I would do anything to support Barbie.
Check out what Tom Hush says. Pink shirt. What does your shirt say?
It's got a big red heart on it that says, "I'm scum."
Oh, that's sweet.
That's sweet.
That's
Nice.
sweet.
Weren't you in a band called I'm Scum?
I was, yeah. And here's the weird thing. Air Supply covers only. We wanted to go with a counterpoint on it. That's the whole deal there.
Steve, can I just make a mention that I did wake up and put pink heels on for today's Barbie premiere? Yeah, and I think about the Barbie core. It's just everywhere is selling pink and dresses. Of course, I got mine. It's Sofia Vergara from Walmart. Thank you very much, and a matching purse to go and some lip gloss. But I have the pink heels on.
Yeah, you do.
I'm curious why Barbie doesn't have a bunion yet.
Yeah, what was it? How come
One of the major.
Was there a podiatrist character in the movie?
Well, I'll tell you something. One of the major points of the movie involves her feet, because when she starts to have these existential thoughts of death, her feet suddenly.
Just so I'm clear, I'm not taking my 7-year-old granddaughter to this, right?
No, you shouldn't. It's PG-13.
Okay, got it. Okay.
The target audience for this movie are adults. I mean, you can take your kids to it. It's fine. You'll have some questions afterwards, but the target audience for this movie are adults and mostly women. The target audience for this movie are adult women. That's who this movie is made for, and that's what the message is for. But at one point in the movie, at the beginning of the movie, you see Barbie get out of bed and she's happy and she says hi to all the other Barbies in their dream houses. Hi Barbie, hi, and they're all happy. And she goes and takes a shower. There's no water, but she takes a shower and she's walking and she's on her tiptoes. Because that's the way her feet are shaped, Barbie shaped, so that she can put on her high heels. Mm-hmm. And so when she starts to have this existential crisis and starts thinking about death and being depressed, not in the Barbie world, this is unprecedented, her feet go flat. Oh. And her feet go flat, and she's like, wait, my feet are flat. What's going on? And then at one point, she puts on her high heels, and one of her lines is, man, I'm telling you, if my feet were, I would never wear these things if my feet were flat.
And that's when women stood up and cheered.
But, that's one of the 9,000 times when women can stand up and cheer during this movie. And that's the point of it. That's the point. Will Ferrell, by the way, plays the CEO of Mattel. And the fact that Mattel had so much great sense of humor to allow them to say the stuff they say about Barbie in this movie. Like they have examples of other Barbies in it. Like the Barbie, I don't know if you remember this, but there was a Barbie that came out, I think it was in the 70s, where you could lift up Barbie's arms and her boobs got bigger. That's a real product.
See, that's weird, because I thought that was a real life thing at prom.
Well, I'll tell you something. That's confronted in the movie. That's confronted in the movie. And all of these dolls are brought out. Kate McKinnon is in the movie, and one of the best performances she's ever given. She plays Weird Barbie. She's the Barbie that the weird kid would cut the hair off and paint her face.
That was me.
Well, Kate McKinnon plays Weird Barbie.
What a perfect segue. And Nick, I want you to hang around for this.
Yeah.
Kelly Smith is going to join us after the bottom of the hour, who makes art out of Barbie heads. Now, this is a mother and a grandmother who pulls the heads off Barbies and turns them into jewelry.
In the world of that movie, she's murdered a whole bunch of Barbies. She's decapitated a bunch of actual Barbies that existed.
This is someone that Jane's known in the past. You should call your friend Kelly and say, don't see the movie.
No.
She's going today.
You have to. No, listen. Don't discourage anybody from seeing this movie. It is literally one of the most important movies of the year.
Position, I mean, the juxtaposition of this, and I trust you. You know that.
I know.
But the juxtaposition of this, that you'll love the Barbie movie, but the Oppenheimer movie about this incredibly important historic moment, and possibly a second Oppenheimer moment in regards to AI and everything we're in now, that seems like a movie people would see. And yet you're saying, don't see that one, see Barbie.
Because
I get
the
it
message
from an entertainment standpoint.
Without hesitation. No, and from what movie's more important? Barbie is a more important. I'm not kidding, man. I am not being facetious. I am not trying to be a smartass. It's a much more important movie with a much more important point than Oppenheimer.
I'm just waiting for Hasbro to fire back with a G.I. Joe movie.
Well, they've already made G.I. Joe movies.
but a G.I. Joe movie where he becomes an anti-war protester, conscientious objector. G.I. Joe.
Well, that's kind of what this movie does, right, and the whole thing about just it concentrate and the fact that Will Ferrell, by the way, who plays the CEO of Mattel, okay, and he's hilarious in this movie.
He's hilarious in everything.
And they make the people who run Mattel look like complete morons in this movie. And Mattel said, yeah, go ahead and say that.
Oh, wait, hold on. They make management look stupid. I'm in.
Yes, my friend.
We've changed your mind. I think you might like it.
Yes, they made management look really stupid.
I think that you would like this movie, Steve.
Okay.
Listen, I know you would like it.
No, I'm sure I will.
I'm telling you, and it is without question, all of those things and more. It's also unbelievably entertaining. The music is great. It's got incredible art direction and set design, the costumes, everything.
But it's also more important than Oppenheimer because Oppenheimer's a bad movie.
Yeah, I mean, you want to take an important piece of history like that and turn it into like a textbook made by a second year, Columbia College film student. That's fine.
Okay.
But the thing, and the other thing about Barbie is it's the funniest movie of the year. It is I've not laughed harder at any movie this year, maybe in a couple of years.
I've never seen him so excited.
I'm telling you.
You've got to be getting a kickback.
I'm telling you, it's the best movie of the year. It's the most entertaining.
You're part of the Barbie cabal.
It's an important movie. It makes a great statement, and it makes a feminist point, and it's also the funniest damn movie. I laughed out loud and loud through the entire running time.
I love the energetic Nick. This is exciting.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.